So it would seem Brie Larson is actually jobless after the Marvels, and obviously, Fast X, but the Marvels releases after that. This is interesting for a few reasons, because it indicates that the superpower of superhero movies in terms of catapulting individuals to stardom just, is waning massively. In fact, it's all but gone. And, a lot of people will blame Brie Larson specifically on this, or her acting capabilities and things like this. I get that, and I understand. But I think, let's look at it from a broader perspective. That's definitely an element. Of course it is. But a broader perspective is that superhero movies are on the way out, and there's a large indicator of that. This being one of them, among multiple other things. Now, I'm not going to sit here and cry for Brie Larson. I don't have anything specifically against her. I think this image specifically, creme de la creme, love it. Love a bit of cheese on this channel, a bit of Brie. From an aesthetic perspective, everything else, not so much. But we know that the Marvels is a complete shit show. We're aware of that anyway. And the sort of thought process that's been going is actually because she's causing a lot of issues behind the scenes. And part of that is predominantly her issues with the Marvels being an ensemble piece as opposed to being built around her. Which I can understand. She's an Oscar winner. She's high in the industry in that regard. She was hired before any writers were hired, before any directors were hired. They built Captain Marvel around her, and Kevin Feige promised her the world, essentially promising that she would lead the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forwards, and nothing's come from it. So I can understand why she'd be pissed. But furthermore, she's apparently jobless. Hollywood is just rejecting Brie Larson. But also, I think, larger and broadly speaking, Hollywood, everything is starting to distance themselves a little bit from superhero movies. Now, we might get a bit of a resurgence when James Gunn's DC launches, but you know what? I actually don't think that will happen. There's so much sort of negativity surrounding Marvel, Disney at the moment. They're facing another lawsuit on their hands, among one which is already there. So yeah, I just feel like the tides are turning, like that pendulum is swinging. Anyway, Brie Larson reveals that she doesn't have a new job after the release of The Marvels, and the actress once again reveals some tantalising and titillating new images, which I am absolutely all here for. The Marvels release date has recently been pushed back from summer to November, so following a press tour for the movie, presently she has nothing coming out after the Marvel film, though she happens to be rumoured for the live-action Gears of War coming to Netflix, which that rumour does come from Giant Freaking Robot, who, their sources is essentially, trust me bro, I took a shit and I thought this. So let's just give that one up, alright? That's unlikely. But yeah, this is, again, fascinating stuff. News of not having a job comes after she also recently doubted her future with Marvel, and actually said the future of the MCU is Ms. Marvel. However, as she has previously worked with director Destin Daniel Cretton, Brie Larson is rumoured for a big role in Avengers Kang Dynasty movie. But Marvel's really rethinking their structure for everything moving forwards. So, who knows? But again, I'm here for the images. Of course I am. Because as much as, she espouses nonsense, she's still hot. So, it is what it is. Anyway, she says, what I always come back to is, I have to live with myself in a way that nobody else has to, Larson tells Karina Tricano. The choices I make, I have to live with, whether I regret them or not. Interesting. But anyway, it also says Hollywood has a well-worn path for serious actors, but since winning the Oscar, Brie Larson has become one of the industry's stealthiest superstars by refusing to stick to the script and also not really getting that much work. So anyway, she's going to be in Fast X, which Harper's Bazaar, makes a mention of. But she also made some hilarious comments because this Harper's Bazaar interview took place in London during reshoots for The Marvels, which we were saying they were reshooting anyway. But apparently she's like, yeah, I'm hanging from wires in a superhero suit, fighting imaginary aliens. Gosh, I understand they're for kids, but when an adult says that as well, you really do go, goodness me. Goodness me. Brie Larson is featured on the cover and in the magazine and talks about the Marvels and her latest movie, Fast X. Fast X gets released May 19th, and she questions, is it bad that I think they're amazing? But no, because I think the thing is, I don't like the Fast and Furious movies at all. I think they're utter garbage, absolute trash. I think they used to be good, and then they just descended into nonsense. But I also think the nonsense is part of their charm for some people, not for me. And here you can see the Cheese Larson. Let's just, we'll get through some of these images. Loads of people say she's got like a weight problem at the moment. She doesn't, just as an FYI, from someone who knows anatomy and physiology from an industry higher up perspective and expertise. No, she's not remotely anorexic or has an eating disorder. You can tell that. I don't understand why, you can rag on her for so many things, but the whole sort of eating disorder thing is utter nonsense. And it's probably perpetuated by fatties, but anyway. Anyway, regarding the Marvels, the director Nia DaCosta reveals a tidbit in that there will be very emotional scenes in the movie, i.e. she's probably going to die. We were doing a scene that was more emotional, and Larson turns to me, take 3 or 4, and goes, so I'm holding the tears in, but if you want them to fall, let me know. The kind of control she has over her instrument is really impressive. I should play my instrument. Goodness me. Anyway, what scares Brie Larson about Captain Marvel? The interview also starts off by writing about how Brie Larson attended a play starring an actor friend who signed for fans outside, but none of the fans recognised her. Something she says happens all the time, and she delves into why the idea of doing a big Marvel movie in Captain Marvel scared her at first. This is interesting, I think. I was scared of what would happen to me, she said, with the article, noting that a big role could prevent her from doing the things she loves. I was like, what world is this where these are the choices I have to make as an artist? Basically saying, I don't want to take a role where I become too famous, which, you know what, actually shows a distinct lack of narcissism in some regard. I mean, some people would probably flip that and go, yeah, it does show narcissism because she's thinking she'll become too famous. No, I don't think that. Having a clear, sort of decisive comprehension of the industry, and the fact that you can be catapulted to stardom from a Marvel movie doesn't indicate narcissism. But the fact that she was apprehensive about doing that shows a distinct lack of narcissism, I think. But anyway, here's her looking dumb in leggings and cowboy boots, as it were. It is what it is. And this is the statement that she makes. So for now, she's said, whatever. I don't have a next job. I don't have a home. I don't have a partner. I don't have a plan. I'm just completely open. Well, look, Brie, hit me up. All right? Email's in the description box. I'll be your partner. Anyway, she's enjoying losing track of time, exploring the world, going to art museums, and replenishing her creativity. Without this, she couldn't take another job. I have nothing left to give unless I go through this period of adventure. It is honestly interesting. But anyway, the article notes comes off a pedestal. Obviously, Brie Larson took on the gig and went to be featured in Avengers Endgame, The Marvels, and maybe more. But she still finds a way to come down to earth. Anytime I feel like I'm being put too much on a pedestal, it's my job to figure out how to remove that within myself. I honestly, I don't hate her as a person. I really don't. I think she just makes some really dumb comments sometimes. But some of the stuff that she says is genuinely interesting. Like, she's not stupid. But anyway, yeah, she says she doesn't have another job. Marvels opens November 10th. Brie Larson also has Lessons in Chemistry coming out on Apple TV Plus about a woman whose dream of being a scientist is put on hold in a society deeming that women belong in the domestic sphere, not the professional one, which could be interesting in some regards. But there you have it, ladies and gents. She doesn't have a job. That looks so dumb. Anyway, she doesn't have another job. But some of this stuff is actually interesting. She's not completely stupid. This is what she had to wear for her Fast X role. Yeah, none of this screams anorexia, just as an FYI. Although, sort of people see vascularity and suddenly go, anorexic! Still not anorexic, but alright. Anyway, Brie Larson, shunned by Hollywood, but more specifically, like I said, it's actually the waning power of superhero movies. That's what I genuinely think. And I think it's Hollywood shunning superhero movies, or at least realising they're on their way out. They're trying to reinvigorate it. Marvel is. But we'll see if it works. Let me know what you think down below. This isn't a hate piece on Brie Larson. It's just fascinating that she's like, yeah, I'm jobless. Alright, geez. I'm sure something will come up. People go years without working in the industry. Weird she doesn't have a home, though. I do find, like, you know, we learnt from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial how stupid some of these stars are. Because Amber Heard spent thousands on rent. You just think, just buy something, you idiot. Why aren't you invest? Invest in your future. You morons. I would have thought you should have bought a house by now. But anyway, let me know what you think down below. Hope you're having a great weekend. Cheers, guys. Take care.